I'm in the middle of reading the Vraska. I'm in the middle of reading the Vraska story on Ravnica from March of the Machines, and it's breaking me. You should read it. I'll do it. This video will be I got to the Rao part, but I would be okay if Tiberi just undid all of this. That would be great. Please, thanks. I asked where Vraska was last night. Now I wish well, it's really good, everybody. Okay, I've collected myself and I finished the last bit. Okay, so this is the story of Vraska attacking Ravnica. So it starts with her perspective of her being completed, and that's horrifying. Kind of like walking through her feeling all of her limbs turned to metal. The fact that she eventually gets to the point where she tricks Jace. It establishes her then going back into her like childhood when the Azorius had her in prison, and that they eliminated each of the Gorgons other than her, keeping all of their eyes covered and hearing what I think was basically her mother, if not her adoptive mother, be murdered in front of her. She didn't see it audibly because the eyes being covered. We then flash back to her in the modern time, and it does this really hard transition from black text to red text. It looks like this, and basically it transitions between black and red text between every paragraph, kind of showing when it's Vraska's mind talking versus the Phyrexian version of Vraska. And we see a lot of Vraska's doubts through both perspectives. The fact that historically she feels like she was born and has the skill set to lead, and always people want her to be just the cold-hearted assassin, and how the few people that have accepted her as a leader or something that she respects, and one of the reasons she worked for Bolas, one of the reasons she was so excited to be a captain on Ixalan, and now Phyrexia has given her the ability to lead this invasion on Ravnica. And like all this, it's horrifying. The invasion is horrifying. She has a very specific way of completing people, where once she destroys the Senate Hall, she goes into the prison that the Azorius kept her in, destroying that, and then using that to get down into the Golgari. And she completes the Golgari first and uses them as her main force in attacking Ravnica. And she does this by having the Phyrexian and Golgari soldiers rip the eyes out of anyone they walk near as they spray oil on the streets, forcing the scrambling people with no sight anymore, trying to figure out themselves to complete themselves by moving around in the oil and blood because they can't see anything. It's horrifying, and then through this process, she eventually actually ends up in her old apartment and starts seeing a lot of trinkets, and then we realize why Vraska is able to jump between herself and the Phyrexian version of herself, and it's based on the fact that she and Jace locked a part of her mind. Jace created basically a mind palace for her to protect herself in, to create her as a sleeper agent to fight against Bolas, and that she was able to claw herself out of that, and it was the moment that she kind of broke down. And we see a moment that she realized that she forgot the person that she loved for the first time, which was Jace, and she grabs the thermic compass from Ixalan. Basically, her apartment before she became Golgari Queen is filled just with a bunch of stuff from all these different planes that on adventures she went on that she feels emotionally for, and then obviously it switches to like the Phyrexian side being like, I don't need these trinkets, I'm Phyrexia. But so then, through the Golgari, she then continues the march against Ravnica, which is when she runs into Rao. Rao uses a big gauntlet electro thing, think Vi from League of Legends / Arcane, and punches her, and from what we can tell, one shots her. And as her broken body lays crumpled on the floor, she retreats once again to her mind palace, but this time there's an extra present from Jace. And Jace is there. Fuck, I'm not gonna get through this again. And similar to the last time that Jace and Vraska went on a mind palace, it's heartbreaking, and I'm shattered. She's on a date with Jace. It has the appearance of them being older. He's no longer even in his cloak. He's just like in a nice suit, casual wear. And he's just staring her right in the eyes. Because he's not afraid. Aside, there's Rao walked up to Vraska knowing to look down at the ground, so she couldn't use her powers on him. Then that's how he was able to get close. But yeah. And there's a moment where, like, after he got off of a griffin with Tomek and they were holding hands and she's jealous, which is, because of this. And the Phyrexian side doesn't know why, but we know. And so back to the date, Jace looks her in the eye and tells her that she is still a good person, that the person that was a Phyrexian isn't who killed people, and she would only ever hurt people that deserved it, and she doesn't believe it and believes that she should kill herself because she does deserve to die. And Jace is like, that's absolutely not true. There is an angle, so there's a version of this that could be read because we don't know where this is. So there's hope that this is just real and in the future, which there's a small feature of that towards the end, because this is all happening as Vraska's under rubble, dying from all intents and purposes, or how it's described. But Jace goes into a secondary mind palace and puts them on a nice beach on Ixalan, and it definitely is, they sleep with each other, and it's heartbreaking because that she's dying in the middle of it. And Allison Lurs owes me mental solitude. I don't know how to describe it. Go read it. It's the last section. It ends with a blinding light. Definitely, it's afraid this is the first time, and it's amazing, blah, 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 blah. And then it cuts the Rao, and Rao is just tired and sad, and the invasion is done. He says that this is, a few days or weeks after the invasion, and they've been looking for Vraska's body, and he kind of comments on, this wasn't her, but the way she was killing people, the horrifying way she was doing it in the process was a part of who Vraska was, and then they can't find the body. The body is gone. The body being gone is definitely a hint that she's still around. She's still alive. We'll find out. I assume at some point. My guess is she's still alive. Without a body, you can't confirm death without a body. And that's basic writing at 101, and with her missing, I would guess that she's still alive, which is hopeful. Is she going to be a Phyrexian version of herself, or is she going to be herself? I don't know, but this story broke me. I don't know what to do. I have to go to work. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, there's another story. I know that. Spoilers for that. I'll talk about that. All right, so I had to get on a work call, so I'm no longer emotionally distraught. So I mean, the three key pieces of information. One is absolutely, I think that moving forward, Vraska is still alive. I assume Jace is going to still be alive. Those are going to be the two. I'm going to continue my Team Rocket idea. Now, are they going to be villains? Are they going to be good guys? I don't know, but I do think I think she survived this. If she didn't survive this, I'm going to be so unhappy. Fuck, I'm already unhappy. Whatever. I also think that we have a situation where I haven't read the story yet, but I've seen the card. There's I'll just post it. Ren and Realmbreaker combine with each other. There's the card. Feel free to pause to read it. So I'm assuming this ends the invasion, and I have to believe that there is a removal of infectiousness that happens, because also something that Ralph said, basically he has a lined up of all of his is it engineers that had their eyes removed but haven't been completed, and if that's true, then it feels like there was some stop to the infection process. I'm about to read the other story, so I think that's where that happens, but we'll find out. I think this is the last of the side stories as well. There's supposed to be, I think, 5 or 8 of them. I forget. 8, I believe. But yeah, so I think those are all true. I mean, I'm now working with imperfect information, but this story broke me. I hope you enjoyed me crying through a video, and I'll talk to you in the next one.